Hi everyone, this is Lada from astrolada.com here with our wise guru Trifon Nikolov to lead us through
Oh, thank you. Hello, everyone.
the solar lunar month of April using ancient Babylonian sidereal astrology techniques, mostly focusing on the constellations and the stars. So you have the word, Trifon. Oh, by the way, I forgot to say, guys, Tripun is offering a love reading for $60 off. It's timing of marriage and falling in love. This is the most amazing method. He just demonstrated it to me, and there is a video that he made. And basically, it showed exactly the years. He demonstrated 10 minutes ago to me. It showed exactly the years I got married the first time, the years I got married the second time, the year I fell in love the first and the second time. So I was blown away. So, and it uses nothing of the techniques that we know in modern astrology. And it's to the specific year. It uses methods he demonstrates it in the video. I think the video might be released already when you're watching this one, or it will be released tomorrow. Check it out. But he's doing a reading at $60 off for only a week that uses those techniques, how to calculate the timing of love and marriage using very ancient techniques of perfections, directions, and Arabic law. Anyway, thank you, Tristan. Now, looking forward to hear about April.
Let's see what this month, the lunar month, is about. As some of you already know, the lunar month is beginning when the first time when the moon appears in the sky visible after its conjunction with the sun. This time, the moon appeared nearly to the so-called royal degrees in astrology. In this way, showing that this month will be important to the persons of royalty and to the rulers in general. So we will see what happens. However, the ruler of the moon, Mars, at the same time, was in conjunction with the Pleiades, stars very well known from antiquity, from ancient times. We have signs describing them on caves for like 30,000 years ago.
It's very interesting. I just read that the ancient Greeks saw seven sisters there, so would the Egyptians, but so did the Aborigines in Australia, and they were not connected at all. And they said they're seven sisters, so they were seeing, their seers. They obviously were all psychic people in the past, so they could see like whole configurations and entities, or like basically like paintings in the stars, which we no longer can, but they were seeing the same influences. That was amazing. There was an article someone sent me recently how the the Australian natives, sorry if I can't pronounce it correct, the meanings of their constellations were the same, and the stories as in ancient Greece, or I would say ancient Egyptian stories as well. So sorry for the interruption. I think that might be interesting for people, but you see, this is not something we invented out of our imagination only. This is something that they were witnessing, something that they were feeling, something that they knew about everywhere in the world, even though they were not connected at all.
Yes, this is a strong sign that the knowledge about the Pleiades and their nature is coming from really old times, like 20, 30,000 years ago, and somehow it was spread in many different parts of the world. At least this is my idea. So those stars, they are with the nature of the moon and Mars, according to ancients, which again connects them with female energy, the moon. And for example, in the tradition of ancient India, they're considered to be, again, females. And in this way, however, they have also the nature of Mars. And when Mars is with them, they are assuming more Martian energy. So they are becoming more like Mars too. And this time Mars with them rules the appearance of the moon, the sign for the whole month ahead. And
this is like angry women.
in fact, I think many of you will agree that in the last few days, when this process was undergoing, the appearance of the moon and Mars conjuncting the Pleiades, many people faced a lot of conflicts and anger. And this was connected, of course, with the position of Mars in their horoscopes, reflecting the meaning of Mars in their own charts. But it was there. This energy was there the last days. So this month can have some more sharp ends, so to say. Because the moon is connected with those fiery stars, with the association with Mars with them. And because of this month is more connected with things like even danger of fire, for example, or accidents. And because Mars...
Kritika, is that the nakshatra in Vedic astrology Kritika that is close to? Because it was also Kritika. I think Kritika was connected to the Pleiades.
Yes, Mars is there. Mars is there in the nakshatra called Kritika. Yes. However, the moon is in the nakshatra called Bharani. Yes, which is a little bit different, but again, it's not a very easy place. It is much connected with justice, giving whatever someone deserves in whatever way it is needed. And also it is connected with a lot of the energy of love and passion. So all those things, emotions and conflicts, they're igniting with this new moon in Aries and Mars with those Martian stars. The moon nature of the stars are showing that also there is a sensitivity, there are emotions. And when there can be strong ego and even anger combined with sensitivity and emotions, then we will have to be more careful because of the combination. However, the month also has some other very important features apart from those Martian ones. And those features are the stations of the planets Jupiter and Saturn. So this will color the month. First, Jupiter will come with his very important influence. After some days, especially on 17th of April, Jupiter will stop in his direct motion and he will turn retrograde. This is called morning station because this will happen in the early morning when Jupiter will be visible. And what does it mean? In fact, it means that the days between 10th and 24th of April in general, the middle days of April, he will be in a phase. He will have much more powerful influence. So when Jupiter is becoming so strong, it's everything connected to it, knowledge and truth and honesty is also becoming important. So many of us will have to turn to the past and to look about if we were doing the right things. Yes, this will be very important. Why? Because Jupiter is making this, according to ancient astrology, he's making this station in the last degree of the constellation of Scorpio. And the last degree of Scorpio constellation is considered to be the border with the next sign, the fiery sign of Sagittarius. And every such place in the zodiac, like the borders between the watery and fiery signs, is important because it shows a process of transformation that is culminating. And some texts and authors from India, they're saying that when planets are there in such places, this is a sign for resolving and finishing past life karma.
It's like a karmic knot.
Yes. So Jupiter there, because this is the beneficial planet after all, is offering right now the opportunity in the next months, because he will be making these positions several times. He's offering the opportunity for the next months that we resolve in a positive way some very important problems, troubles, and consequences coming from the past, including from our karmic past. And to achieve this, it will be very important to be honest with ourselves. After all, Jupiter is the planet of truth. So let's everyone try to be really, really deep looking inside and honest to himself.
Do you think there will be like people?
The processes. What?
So do you think people will be able to have like deep realizations as to repeating patterns or something they've been doing? Say, for example, someone always has the same type of relationship issues, or someone has always the same issues at work with bosses, or someone has the same health issue. And people can have some deep realizations when they become introspective as to what is causing that and release it and heal it in some way.
Of course, all kinds of such experiences will be there.
Perfect. That's beautiful to know. I've been noticing a lot of people already, they're starting to, in the last few days, they're starting to see that they're willing to move forward and to make a big shift, to first examine themselves deep and to shift to a different way of doing things and to be honest with themselves. But I believe that you feel this, especially if Jupiter is making an aspect to points in your horoscope, say, to ascendant, sun, moon, or something like that.
Yes, especially if in someone's horoscope, Jupiter is ruling, for example, the ascendant, or also he can rule the sun, which is the spiritual self, but also he can rule the moon, that is connected with the past and with the emotions that are hidden inside. On many levels, for I can say even everyone, this position will be important. So also in this way, Jupiter staying in this last degree, he's conquering, he's having important position of another type. According to some ancient astrology schools from India, this is the teaching of Jaimini. In a special way of calculation that is not widely used, Jupiter in this position, he is becoming the soul of the zodiac.
The highest degree planet.
Yes, he is in the highest degree. And this means that now the essence of Jupiter is the essence, the leading essence in almost everything. And Jupiter in Scorpio is, because it's a planet of knowledge and truth, he will be enlightening deep secrets. We will be able now to see secrets even to ourselves, what we hide from ourselves, but also, of course, literally secrets. We will see in the next months, and especially this month, how some hidden actions, secret things will be revealed in public to the society. including because this is after all the signs of Scorpio. This will be some, I can say, secret, some cruel things involving criminal matters and politics.
Wow.
However, now the leading thing is to search the inner truth, to be able to find our inner troubles that otherwise we'll be able to poison ourselves in the future. Achieving of transformation. This is a very powerful position for that. Everyone has the opportunity now.
So like alchemical processes of transformation and releasing. In Western astrology currently, we're looking at the Pluto South Node and Saturn, and we also talk that this can be about releasing karma, but hopefully
Yes.
that will help with finding a solution and seeing the truth and being honest with ourselves and all of this and receiving help for that.
So this process has already begun, and it will take some steps throughout the year. So now is one of the very important steps that is turning to the inner truth, and we will be able to express it in the outer world when Jupiter starts to be retrograde, which will be a few months later. So it's a long process.
So we'll do the inner work now, and kind of the cleansing, the psychological cleansing, the understanding, the figuring out of patterns, of detangling problems, and then we can move forward freely from the summer, August, I think, the end of July.
Yeah, so also this position of Jupiter, because it is in conjunction with one very important star in the heavens, also is pointing out to some other things, like even dangers. What they are? This star is the star called Shawa. It represents the sharp end of the sting of Scorpio, and Jupiter is coinciding with it. In a way, Jupiter represents truth and honesty, and the sting of Scorpio sometimes can be something cruel. And of course poisonous. And because of this, there is also a danger now for everyone to somehow being, not literally, but even sometimes literally, poisoned because of mischief, dishonesty, because of using the wrong kind of foods or medicines. So I think more people has to be more careful, not to enter negative emotions, or literally what they eat. However, in the process, Jupiter will reveal those dangers and will give opportunities for making the right action. So on the earthy level, on practical level, this position also is showing that there is a danger of poisoning on a bigger level, like in the industry, heavy industry throughout the world. So danger of chemicals and poisons on large scale in some places of the world. Jupiter also will be able to give us the truth regarding bad people, criminals, and politicians now. So now we will see things that can even shock us on the news. So quite important position. So Jupiter in this way is acting very, very strongly this month. So this month also is a month of truth and honesty this way. Because of the influence of Mars, this will, of course, invite also anger. So everyone let's everyone try to be calm. In this way, Venus will come to help this month, because Venus is going through a very spiritual places in the sky right now, and in this way is showing that the energy of love is now reaching some of its highest qualities, offering help in such moments that are between good and bad. Especially Jupiter will act very strongly in such places like the country called Turkey, the middle parts, and the main city called Istanbul. Also, Jupiter will act very strongly in such directions in all the Arabian countries. Those places, they are connected with the sign Scorpio. However, because I arrived here in US soon, and I was thinking last weeks for the astrological significance of different states in the country, and I am starting to think that the sign Scorpio also is important for the states like Texas, Florida, probably Georgia, and for Mexico. And all those processes will be relevant to those places too. They will be strong here. We have again a wealth of astrological influences, because not only Jupiter will make its station this month. What will happen is that Saturn also will become retrograde.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a confirmation that, like for Jupiter, because he is representing developments, now is more time like for inner development, and Saturn, that is the planet of the practical world, is also becoming retrograde. It's showing that right now, for month and a half, or even for the time of the retrograde movement for the two planets, there it will be more difficult for everyone to achieve its goals. We will have to, of course, not stop. We don't have to stop working on our goals, but we will have the results later, when Saturn and Jupiter become direct. So we have to be more patient now. Saturn becoming again a stationary planet on 29th of April is showing some more difficult time of the month in general. So this is the time when on every level there can be some more difficult effects in our lives and in general for the world. So this will be the time when we will see more difficult news about disasters and troubles. And for ourselves, it's a time when we have to seek more how we can become more effective. We have to turn our gaze to our responsibilities. This is what Saturn will ask. And Saturn is making this movement in conjunction with the South Node, the tail of the dragon.
Mm-hmm.
And there is the one of the modern planets in astrology, Pluto, too. And this Saturn position seems to be, I can say, even a punishing position. Because of this, because South Node is connected with past karma. Saturn is the planet that is the ruler of time, and in general, he is also responsible for punishment. You know, he is exalted in the sign Libra of justice. And being with the Node, it is showing clearly that now there will be some karmic consequences. So we will see that in the events for the world and sometimes in our very lives. And this is because of the past mistakes,
Mm.
when there was dishonesty, immorality,
Mm.
and mistakes with those. Now the consequences now are coming.
Towards the
Definitely.
end.
And they will be coming for the last degree, for the last week of April and the 1st of May. This will be very strong.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a kind of purifying time too, that will raise the ethics and moral of the people.
The hard way.
Yes, in the hard way. It will show us very clearly immorality and dishonesty and their consequences. And on earthy level, uh, this position can give danger of natural disasters like earthquakes and even fire. Mostly this is for Africa in general, for the Iberian Peninsula, and I think that for the West remains more like the moral consequences and conflicts. The position of Mars with the Pleiades will give more troubles, conflicts, and even violence again in Turkey, Ukraine, Azerbaijan, and Kurdistan. Those countries. At least those countries I can list. However, even with those positions, we have still Venus in spiritual places. In this way, many of us, especially those that are ruled by Venus or that whoever has exact aspects with Venus in his horoscope, those people, and this is to some degree also possible for all of us, so those people will be more able to connect with love, freedom, and friendship in their lives, which is excellent. Also, according to sidereal astrology, this month the Sun will enter the first time on the first sign of the zodiac, Aries, and there is an ancient technique that is used for the entering of the Sun in Aries. It can be calculated for different places, and a horoscope is cast showing the next 12 months, at least to some degree. And there are some things in the charts calculated in this way that are showing, I think, danger for England, maybe in the next 2 months, like danger for natural disasters or more violence. Yeah, so I hope people there will be more careful. This is a general indication for the year, so it can be not only in the next 2 months. In the same type of calculation, for US, it is showing the coming of great moral conflict. This is the sign that is given here from astrology, and I think that this will impact greatly this country this year. This can again can happen very soon, even towards the end of April and beginning of May. So in 2 months, for the both countries, there can be troubles. However, on the level for the entire world, a lot of good things are shown, including for US and England, because the Sun in its ingress is making a trine with the Moon. This is showing that, generally speaking, after all, There will be good interaction between the government and the people that will be achieved, as you can see, after the middle. This influence will start after the middle of April. And for the next 12 months, this will give us very good results. The moon is in Leo at that time, showing that after all, the year is very good about things connected with, let's say, children and enjoyment. So whatever happens in the world of politics, the emotional life of people, after all, will be good. This can be even connected somehow. Because of certain other positions, I can say that the next 12 months also will be very important for the astrology itself and about all people connected with astrology. So those people and astrology itself will have development, at least the brightest figures there. And I think there will be more interaction between astrologers and people in power. So very important year about astrology. Remember that. All kinds of developments there.
Awesome to hear that. We should be on the leading edge.
Yes, it seems so. Let's see now the days of the month. The next 2 days, 8th and 9th of April, the moon will be with Mars. So these days are not very favorable for beginning new things, whatever they are. In fact, they can bring more expenditure. So especially about work, you can expect troubles. About love also is not good. The 12th, the moon is with the North Node, called the Head of the Dragon, and opposing Saturn. Again, this day is not good. The days that I'm not mentioning, they're relatively good ones. The best day of the month, however, this month there will be some really rare favorable days, and I will list them in order for people to be able to use them to start something new in their lives that probably will be very successful. So, what I mean, on the 13th and 14th of April, there will be very strong positions of the moon and the sun, and especially the 14th, we have exact trine between the moon, the sun, and Jupiter.
Wow, that's my birthday. Good to know.
Oh, yes. Okay, so you will be lucky. And this exact trine between the sun and Jupiter will involve also the trine of the moon, and this means that in most of the cases, of course, whatever you start at this moment will go very well and will be successful. And there will be harmony between the soul, the material world, and the good faith. So, 14th, one of the best days this year. Of course, also it will be a very good day for many people, especially those who are ruled by the moon, Jupiter, and the sun that will be involved this day.
Imagine being born with sun, moon, and Jupiter trine like that, grand trine. Exactly, and having it all the time.
Yes. Also, if you wish to achieve some more spiritual truth, or to know or to understand something, this is the day when you really can achieve it. It's a day that is connected with a lot of things, including a lot of spiritual energy. However, let's the people who can use the day. On the next day, however, 15th, Mars is coinciding one star, namely the main star of Taurus constellation, and this can arise for the world conflicts, even violence and military conflicts. And also I think it can bring a lot of expenditure, problems on the financial market, so there can be losses. Don't start something there, financial. And there again, on the 16th, we will have some more difficult aspects coming with Mercury. Namely, Mercury will conjunct one of the unlucky stars called Sheat. Last time when we saw this, there were planes falling from the skies in Africa. So probably this day is not good for traveling. And on the other hand, for people that are ruled by Mercury, it can give some more psychological problems and troubles. However, this time it will be not so strong because Venus is coming to help. However, I will not recommend starting any kind of trade or traveling, important ones, on this day. From the same day, we have also Venus entering its exaltation, which again is pointing to the fact that women themselves are becoming stronger in general, more connected with the energies of love, and there will be more love and compassion for the entire world for the next 30-40 days. Also spirituality. On the 17th, there is good positions of the moon in such positions that it allows to start healing practices and successful line of work. Then on the 19th, there will be the full moon day. The full moon will be connected again with Venus because it is happening in Libra. However, there are such signs there that are showing that for some more famous women, more important women for the world, there can be difficult time, like some dangers or even tragedies in their lives. However, for the world in general, this position will make and bring much more love, spirituality, and understanding, maybe by showing the difficulties that has to be overcome. However, this will be the result. Again, 23rd and 24th of April are not good for starting a relationship. I'm not recommending those days for starting relationships. So between, I can say, 19th and 25th. Then on 26th and 27th, the moon is making special aspects and showing that if we try something to start there, like new work, there will be success. So good day for business. On 1st of May, in the heavens, there will be the square between Mercury and Saturn. Generally speaking, because around that time Mercury is also having different influences. Combined with this of Saturn is showing that it's not a good day for traveling, and it's not a good day for signing any kind of contracts. So be careful not to make contracts on that day. They will be very difficult. Also, as an event that it can give, in that moment Mercury can give some bigger danger of accidents involving trains and cars, for example. On the next day, 2nd of May, after this aspect has been separated, there will be a very, very positive conjunction of the Moon alongside Mercury and Venus. Excellent day for finding love, happiness, and trust, for spiritual practices, for healing practices, enjoying with friends. The babies that are born on 2nd of May, they will be special. They will be very good people. And then the end of the lunar month is coming. Between 3rd and 5th of May, there will be the so-called black or invisible moon. At the same time, the sun will be in the royal degree. So I think that this will be the time between 3rd and 5th of May when people who are involved in rulership, like royals or other rulers, they will be much more sensitive. They can experience problems, instability. However, the same position will give its influence for renewing interactions, for new models and changes that are positive. However, the day itself will be not easy. Between 3rd and 5th of May, because the moon is waning, it is not visible, the best thing for people is not to start new ventures, but to rest. These are the best days for resting and making some spiritual practices. So let's finish again with the influence of Jupiter. That will be vital for the month. In all this month, whatever there has been said, Jupiter is the soul of the zodiac, meaning that whatever happens, we will be able to go through this in a positive way and to resolve it on every level, including achieving good spiritual results. So because of this, this month, after all, is positive.
This is wonderful to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. So throughout the month, we will have the movement of Mercury and Venus in the spiritual sign of Pisces, the constellation. And many of the stars there has the nature of Venus, which, except the days that I mentioned, for Mercury and Venus connected with the star Shat. So except those days, which are few, many people, especially the ones connected with Mercury and Venus, people of the art, people of the world, they will experience a lot of good things in their life, and generally speaking, they will have good developments. Again, except the days that I mentioned. So generally speaking, about spirituality and love, most of the time we have here is good.
And I guess, hello?
Yes, yes, still here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think you freeze or something. You're just in deep meditation. Is that so? We finished the month with that, isn't it? With new moon to new moon, yes.
Yes, yes, we finished the month. So I think that those ending days, 3rd, 5th of May, there can be they can bring more important events on mundane level that are connected with the meanings of Jupiter and Saturn that I mentioned in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so there will be quite changing and transformational moments with all the meanings that I listed in the beginning.
Thank you so much. That was very in-depth, Trifon. Very interesting. You told us the story of the constellations again and led us day by day through the month. And I'm glad to hear that my birthday is one of the few good days.
You're lucky, as always.
Luck runs out. Luck runs out one day. We all die. And I'm having Pluto transit, so I'm very doom and gloom. Everything is perfect in my life currently, but I'm just thinking, who's gonna die? What tragedy?
This is Jupiter in Scorpio speaking through you right now.
Well, it's wonderfully blissful around me, but at the same time, so why am I in such a dark state? But nothing to give me reasons for that. But anyway, thank you so much. Yeah, Jupiter in the last degree of sidereal Scorpio. Deep philosophical thinking on life after death and all those topics.
And achieving transformation.
Oh yeah, it feels like
and maybe salvation.
Yes, but it feels like I'm about to die, like part of my life or something important. It's kind of very interesting psychological background that everything else around in my life is happening at. But it's nothing outside is showing such threats. It's an
in fact, Jupiter is aspecting your moon right now. You know that, and his influence is about to make you become more enlightened about the topic connected with Scorpio. And Scorpio is the sign of life and death. Mm-hmm. That's why you're thinking about those kind of transitions between the worlds, let's say. This is only a way that Jupiter is giving you knowledge. That's why you're
it is like knowledge. It's because I'm thinking on a deep level about them, but it's everything else in my life is amazing. It's never been better.
So you can see how Jupiter, after all, is very positive right now for you, because in this way he will release you from some emotional fears, for example.
Well, I hope so, because I've always had this doom and gloom, like, or maybe when everything is fine, you're afraid that it will all collapse. I don't know, because I've never had my life good. And there was always drama or something, and when it's all calm, you're like, okay, where it's gonna hit me from? But it makes you think about the deep things in life and about the old happiness and being self-reliant, emotional. It doesn't matter. I don't want to go too deep into that. But
don't worry, Jupiter there, and especially having good aspect, is offering protection against any dangers.
I know. It's just those fears of flooding, but I guess it's part of the scorpionic nature that Jupiter is in. and when your children and everything start thinking, what if I lose them? All those dark topics, and you're like, oh, God can't love me that much. But I'm having Saturn transit as well, Saturn square the sun and all those. So.
This is Saturn, yes.
But thank you so much, Trifon. And guys, check out his readings. He's doing for a week $60 off on his compatibility or timing of marriage and love reading. Or you can check his other readings as well and contact Trifon. Thank you so much for your deep knowledge. Thank you for uplifting me again, because I was in that state, and for raising our vibrations collectively and universally for everyone. Thank you, Trifon, and we'll see you next month.
Thank you all. We'll see you again.